Cut off their limbs? Hold up, cut off whose limbs? I imagine Isaac Clarke thought something like this upon seeing such a horrible sight. Cut off their limbs. This foreboding warning seared itself into my brain, and once you see it, you simply can't unsee it. The second you lay eyes on it, you know that terrible things are undoubtedly coming your way. The blood-stained seal, nearly cake-like, wiped on the wall in desperation. Someone left this omen as a final message to those who may come to the rescue. Man, what a way to creep into a player's headspace. From the second you step foot on the USG Ishimura, just about everything that can go wrong goes wrong, and the darkness that consumes Isaac Clarke and his companions just continues to get darker both figuratively and literally. You're ambushed minutes into boarding the distressed ship, as a crew member is killed a few feet in front of you by some foul creature. Not only is he killed, but he is also a soldier and dies a brutal death within seconds, solidifying the fact that you stand practically no chance of survival as a regular-ass dude. The monster looks humanoid, but also like a deformed beast or demon. The ship you arrive in is destroyed, and the crewmate is killed shortly after. Utter dread. You are running for your life within the first 10 minutes of the game's beginning, as creature after creature bursts through vents and shafts, scrambling to tear you to pieces. You finally reach an elevator and take it to what seems to be a safe room. That's where you find your first weapon at a workbench, accompanied by two things: a blood-soaked corpse on the floor, and the message, cut off their limbs. The start of Dead Space took me by surprise. I knew of the brutal gameplay and imagery, and it's been lauded as one of the scariest horror games of all time and an instant classic. I never had the chance to play it back in 2008, but it is in my collection and backlog of games to complete. Surprisingly, here we are in 2023, and the remaster was welcomed by the gaming community with open arms. I must say, I do believe that while dated, this is a worthy remaster of a horror classic. You play as Isaac Clarke, who isn't some gun-toting soldier of fortune, but rather an engineer who is part of a team tasked to rescue and recover both the ship and crew of the USG Ishimura. This automatically changes the narrative of what a typical action or survival horror game setting will be. You know going in, you aren't exactly equipped to handle the monstrosities that will undoubtedly seek your destruction. You are joined by 2 security personnel and a computer specialist. You're quickly separated from the men with guns and end up alone. The fear kicks up a notch. Upon arrival, everything that can go wrong has gone wrong. No working communications or engines, nearly all vital instruments for survival have been sabotaged or unmanned, leading to near catastrophic failure. The majority of the crew are dead or insane. Strange markings are scribbled all over the walls, floor, and on bodies, and smells of the occult. You have walked into hell in a tuna can, and must escape with both your life and sanity intact. The crew has been transformed into monstrosities, while a strange presence is causing mass hysteria and psychosis amongst the remaining crew who have yet to be transformed. You will learn what caused the situation and why no one was able to help themselves before you arrived. Now, Dead Space has many inspirations that amalgamate into a well-crafted horror tale. Event Horizon, Hellraiser, John Carpenter's The Thing, Resident Evil, Night of the Living Dead, and many more influenced the art, design, and characters and enemies. If you have love for anything I previously listed, then the odds are pretty high that you will love this thriller too. The hopelessness that instills every fiber of the narrative is brutal and long-lasting. You will quickly recognize the key to success for the developer is fear, and the key to fear is the unknown, doubt, and uncertainty, all of which Dead Space delivers unyieldingly. Isaac is equipped with basic mining tools that he must utilize as weapons, which again ups the ante for how ill-prepared you are in the uphill battle to come. Nah, this isn't war, it's survival. And Dead Space takes every chance it can to reinforce that you are the low man on the totem pole when it comes to power. These tools can be upgraded over time and include the typical increases in damage, ammo capacity, firing rate, etc. The suit Isaac wears can also be upgraded to create more carrying capacity and increase armor to reduce incoming damage. You will have to be quick, use tactics, plan, and assess in seconds, and most importantly, run for your fucking life if you want to survive. This game is brutal, and you will be put in many different situations, most of the time involving exploring tight, compact areas with little room to maneuver, and this is where Dead Space is at its best. If you're claustrophobic, then you will feel attacked well before setting your sights on the first enemy you encounter. The hallways mock you as you make your best efforts to traverse this massive ship. always imagining what's lurking around the next corner. There's always tension due to how the environment seems to swallow you and forces an immediate response of fight or flight for almost the entirety of the play. Dead Space offers one of the best atmospheres in a video game I've ever experienced and is undoubtedly one of its greatest strengths. All the menacing and morbid looking monsters are nothing without a great environment to house them in. The use of lighting and darkness is a masterclass in setting the tone and creating atmosphere. Dark hallways are accompanied by lighting from the ceiling that skips forward every few yards to create patches of darkness that seem like at any minute you will be eviscerated every step you take. Fans spin, causing strobe effects. Lighting color changes to an amber at times, creating a lethargic feeling. Mutilated bodies are scattered everywhere, laying in rooms, floating in zero gravity, mashed into the walls and floors like potatoes. Always on display, foreshadowing what's to come. Dread is the message, and it's loud and clear. Despair is the medium for delivery. Fear kicks up a notch. The necromorphs are disturbing and full of detail. Skin hangs off of bones, muscle and sinew bulge. Hands are replaced with giant fan-like blades. Guts protrude out of the body, and the list goes on. You must dismember, blast, cut, and stomp enemies into chunks to win. Cut off the limbs. Never rings more true, as the enemy will not stop, even when decapitated. The depravity of the enemy sticks with you as you progress, as the images of their destruction is evident everywhere. You will find survivors at times, but they are always near death or have completely lost it. They either die at your feet from major body trauma or take themselves out of the picture due to their mind being completely broken. The violence depicted in their appearance is extreme, further driving home the sense of helplessness and defeat. There were moments of frustration, however, with how the use of jump scares and gotchas were implemented so heavily. Sometimes the ambushes and surprise moments can get old, as newer games utilize narrative and reactions to elicit fear. After the 18th monster pops out the wall and rushes you, you just come to expect it more, and it has diminishing returns overall. One of Dead Space's greatest strengths can sometimes become its greatest weakness. Sound is utilized extremely well in Dead Space, as when nothing is on screen, you will hear whispers, screaming, mechanical whirring, and the patter of movement. All to keep you on your toes, as the environment itself is like the true antagonist in the end. The game looks and runs fantastic. I played on a PS5 in performance mode, and there was only one time when there was a perceivable drop in frame rate due to the amount of actions occurring on screen. In this case, there was multiple enemies, fog, explosions, and particle effects, all going off at once. At the end of the day, I highly recommend Dead Space Remastered to anyone who is a fan of horror movies, survival horror games, dark stories, the occult, third-person shooters, and the macabre. I did enjoy my roughly 15-hour playthrough, and the game kept a solid pace the whole way through. You will see disturbing imagery and be challenged to press forward, even in the face of mounting adversity. So be warned that this game is not for the faint of heart. So those are my thoughts on Dead Space Remastered 2023, and I appreciate you spending some time with me today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.